Hey guys, it's Joe with JayPhoenixMusic, and today I'm going to be talking about Blowin' in the Wind by Bob Dylan. Let's check it out. Thanks so much for checking out the most recent video of my video series. As usual, make sure to like and subscribe, and follow me at JayPhoenixMusic.com. Couple quick announcements. I actually just did a cover of Blowin' in the Wind, which is why I'm doing a video about it. It's in a video that was directed by my friend Anthony. I'll put them below, but check out all of his content. I scored a lot of his videos. You could actually check out a playlist of all the videos I scored for him on my YouTube channel, and this one's really great. I'm going to go into a little bit more in a little bit. Also, my song Mistakes that I produced for a.k.a. is coming out on October 4th, so be sure to check that out when it comes out as well. Cool, so Blowin' in the Wind was written by Bob Dylan, and it's a song that's almost like a cultural critique of him, explaining how there's a lot of problems, you know, kind of, this was in the 1960s, there's a lot of problems going on, and even the solution could be rather obvious. People just chose to kind of turn a blind eye to what was going on in the 1960s. So Bob Dylan wrote this when he was in his early 20s, and it was cool because apparently a lot of his songs before were a lot more written about specific contexts, and for this song, it was it's his move from the particular to the general, as some critics would say. And it's cool because it's one of those songs where obviously there's great imagery in it, but it could be applied into a wide variety of situations. Another thing that I like about this song is how Bob Dylan described it as how he's this guy in his 20s, and how the answer to a lot of these social problems is essentially blowing in the wind, and everyone's turning a blind eye to it. And because when I first at least heard the song, I was like, oh, the answer is blowing in the wind, like it's something that no one can really figure out. But for him, it's like, yeah, it's flying around you guys, like pick it up and like figure this shit out. And for him, he was saying he's essentially this guy in his 20s, and there's a lot of people who are older and wiser and they can't figure anything out. So I thought that was kind of interesting. What I like about the song is the simplicity of the production. Obviously, it's just piano, guitar, and harmonica. And the lyrics are really cool because it's just it's from Bob Dylan, it sounds very laid back, but it has a lot of very very deep language that could even be applied today. And as far as the lyrics, especially cannonballs flying, obviously cannonballs weren't flying in the 1960s, but it could be used as a metaphor for guns, which obviously my friend Anthony did, which I'll go into in a second. So this song was I actually covered because my friend Anthony did this video about gun violence, and there's a beautifully shot video. I'll put the link in the description. And he centered it around this Bob Dylan song, and then when he tried to upload it, obviously YouTube flagged it. So he was like, hey Joe, can you edit the file so YouTube doesn't flag it. So I did some pitch stuff with it, because sometimes if you lower the pitch, it won't trigger off anything on YouTube. But I lowered the pitch and it still wasn't working, and then he's like, well, if anything, can you just do an instrumental for it? And because he wanted it to be done as soon as possible, because he thought it was going to be released by a certain time, and this was causing problems. So for me, I did the instrumental, and then I was gonna, what I did was I started by just laying down some piano stuff to substitute for the guitar. And then I was gonna do maybe a melody and use a banjo for the melody, because I'm like, that's kind of something that's just easy to do as far as mixing it and making it kind of seem live. But at the end I was like, what, screw it, I'm gonna try and sing it, because I've actually been working on my vocal chops, and it actually sat in a pretty good register for me. And Bob Dylan wasn't necessarily like a Mariah Carey or Whitney Houston, he was just more of like a sing talker. And so I was like, let me just give it a shot, and I sent it to Anthony. He actually really liked it. So I ended up doing the cover of the Bob Dylan song that he put in his video about gun violence. And what I like about it is because there's a lot of different lines in the song, cannonballs flying, that kind of stuff that could be brought into the conversation of gun violence today. So I thought Anthony did a great job, and I was happy that he really liked how I covered the song and ended up using it. Thank you so much for checking out the most recent video in my video series. I appreciate any feedback or comments that you guys have about it. And as usual, I'll be putting out another video next week. Be sure to check out my friend Anthony's video. I'll put the link in the description, but very solid, critique as far as gun violence is concerned, and is beautifully shot. It's one of those where there's so much subtext, but you could just get lost in the visuals. Also, be sure to check out Mistakes when it comes out on October 4th. Thank you so much, and be sure to like and subscribe, and always check out everything that I'm up to on JayPhoenixMusic.com.